when I was competing and did really well, it was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was exactly that. It was push, it was pull, it was legs. So it was once a week. And I don't subscribe to that now. I don't. But who's to say it worked for me back then? Who's to say it won't work for somebody right now? I'm not going to shut it down because I'm being closed-minded. Right now, I'm doing a very much, it's not a push-pull. It's legs by itself once a week. And the reason why I do that is because I find that my legs are taxed so much that if I added a second high-intensity day during the week, it's just too tough on my knees at my age. To be honest with you, when I was in my 20s, I had the same pains. It didn't matter. You train too intensely, your joints become a problem, especially if you're lifting heavy and you're making gains. Your tendons and joints, they just don't catch up. The tendons and the ligaments don't catch up to the muscle gain. Push pull, man, I like the idea of training a body part twice a week now. I like that. So that would mean somebody, if they're doing push, pull, legs, that would mean they're training, unless it's a hybrid, 6 days a week. So I wouldn't subscribe to that. There would be some kind of hybrid that I would do.
You're basically kind of doing like an upper lower, but 2 upper days and a lower day in the week.
Yes.
Where there's overlap, of course, between your upper body days.
There's a lot of overlap. Yep.
What's your rationale for starting the week with the lower body? I'm assuming it's got something to do with jiu-jitsu.
Man.
Like the schedule, I mean.
Yeah, the reason why I did it, there's actually some method to the madness. If I train chest and back on Monday, let's say flies, chest press, and then rows. And then I train it again on Wednesday. I do side laterals, I do pull-ups, and I do dips. That's not a lot of days of recovery. If I do Wednesday and Saturday upper body workouts, now I've got Thursday, Friday to recuperate, and then I've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to recuperate. Make sense?
Yeah.
So rather than just 2 days to recuperate, I've got the full 3 days. That's the reason why the Wednesday and the Saturday are upper body. And that's the reason why on Monday it's legs. That's the only reason. Gotcha. And that all falls into the whole jiu-jitsu routine. So if I had jiu-jitsu different days, it could be Thursday, Sunday, upper body, and then legs would be on the Tuesday.
So you want at least 2 to 3 days between upper body days.
I like to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, don't get me wrong, Kenny, if I could go 3 extra days, I would and try it out. But the problem is then I've got training on the same day as jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu confines the training. Otherwise, I'd be doing it a little more randomly. It'd be workout 1, give it 3 days, workout 2, give it 3 days, workout 3, give it 3 days, then go back to it. It wouldn't be a 7-day cycle.
Got it. Yeah, I've been running with not doing a 7-day cycle. And I got to say, it's much more beneficial on my body and my mind, actually.
8 or 9 days. What are you doing?
Well, it's basically, okay, I'll break it down. At one point, it was every other day. Like I have to do it every other day. Like I need to get it in every other day. I didn't care. I have to hit this muscle group twice in the week. It ended up being like an 8-day cycle, if you will.
Yep.
But then I thought to myself, even though I'm doing every other day, what if on that day that I'm supposed to train, I'm just not ready yet? It's like recovery wise.
Yep.
Who cares to take an extra day? It ends up averaging to about 3 days per week, most weeks, and the occasional 4 times per week if I hit the every other day on that week where it ends up being that way, right? So it ends up working out to like an 8 or to 10 day cycle on average. So I don't have like a concrete cycle, if you will. It's kind of like a ballpark. I've been running with that and it works very well.
Okay. I respect that so much. And I've always wanted to do that. And the 1 or 2 times in my lifetime I've actually done that, I'm so OCD with my schedule that even though that makes sense, if you're not recuperated enough and your body's telling you like, I'm not ready, that makes sense. Right. And I respect that so much. For me, it's very difficult, although in a negative way, I won't do that. I respect that. So, and I think that's a good strategy for people. Just do it a little more intuitively. If you're not on, back off, give yourself 1 more day. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually going to help you.
I think it's because I've come to accept, forget the 7-day cycle. I've kind of reversed it in my mind. The 10-day cycle is actually more effective. Like that is what it is. Forget the week. This is the new week, the 10 days.
I like it.
So
I like it.
That's kind of, it's almost like a mind game, if you will. I think it can be helpful for those who are willing to try it out and who enjoy it. It has many pros for sure.
Yeah. And I think you got to take a look at the individual person, say what's best for that person. We can talk all we want about general principles. Muscle physiology is muscle physiology. It doesn't vary that much from person to person. There is some variance based on muscle fiber types. I get it. But people's life situations are a completely different story. And, a 7-day calendar might not be the best for somebody. And I think you got to look at the individual and say, okay, what's best for me within these general principles? Imagine doing, let's say something along the lines of 5 sets of leg extensions. Okay, let's say you do 5 sets of up to 15 reps. Traditional bodybuilding training, you go 15 reps. Set number 1, you go 1 through 14. Rep 1 through 14, you're not getting to the point where you're actually stimulating your muscle. Rep number 15 is the stimulus. That's the stimulus that's going to help you grow.